This week on Workstand Wednesday, we're going to unfreeze the Pistons in SRAM's G2 Ultimate brakes and get them working again. This procedure will work for any brand of brake, too. For tools, you'll need Allen and Torx wrenches for your pads and caliper, a pair of pliers, Q-tips, a clean rag, some isopropyl alcohol, and some dot fluid. If we take a look here, we can see that the pads are essentially stuck. Only two of them are moving, and one side shows the pistons way too far out on one side of the caliper. You can really see here from this view how off-centered the rotor is. We need to fix that. The brake pads are really worn too, so we'll replace those as we go. Start by removing the brake pads from the caliper. Some brakes use this little clip to lock in the bolt. You might need some pliers to grab it, but I was able to get this one off with my fingers. Yeah, you can see these pads are definitely done. Now that the brake pads are out, you can see how far out one side of the pistons are. Grab your isopropyl alcohol and your rag, and give the caliper and pistons a good cleaning. You want to make sure that any grit or dirt gets cleaned out before we unfreeze the pistons and push them back into the caliper. Now that everything is nice and clean, we want to move the pistons out just a little bit to start unsticking them. Gently squeeze your brake lever a few times, just enough to wiggle the pistons. Do not grab and pull them all the way to your bar. Next, grab your Q-tips and brake fluid and clean the sides of each piston and wipe off any excess fluid. Some fluid will seep in around the pistons and help lubricate them. Now we want to push all the pistons back into the caliper. You can use a special tool for this, or even a plastic tire lever works. The method I like for pistons that are really stuck is to take a cloth rag and wrap it around your pliers. Then carefully get your pliers sitting flat on the piston and gently squeeze them back into the caliper. If I squeeze the brake lever a little, we can see that one pad is moving out more freely than the others, so we'll need to loosen those other three pistons. Take your pliers, rag, and hold the one piston that moves out easily in place while you give the brake lever some short pulsing squeezes. This should force the pistons that are stuck to loosen up. Like we did earlier, clean the sides of the pistons with your Q-tip and brake fluid, wipe off any excess, and push all the pistons into the caliper. Now when we squeeze the lever, all the pistons are coming out equally. Perfect. Now we'll reattach the caliper to the bike. With the rear wheel back in the frame, center the caliper on the rotor and reinstall your brake pads. You may need to fine-tune the alignment of the caliper after your pads are back in. They should now extend out from the caliper equally and everything is nice and centered. And now your brakes are good to go. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more tech tips from Ride OC.